Now in its 9th season, it's Prodigy Bowlers Tour, celebrating junior bowling and elevating junior bowlers. Today, episode 193, the 2025 Kansas City Open Invitational. 5 players qualified for the TV finals, but only one can leave as the Division II champion. Let's meet the 5 finalists. Qualifying 5th is Kelton Meyer of Topeka, Kansas. He'll face the number 4 qualifier, Layla Gonzalez of Shawnee, Kansas. The winner of that opening match will face the 3 seed, Liliana Gentlemark of Kansas City, Missouri. That winner will face the 2 seed, Nicholas Sharp of Shawnee, Kansas. And that winner will bowl for the title against our tournament leader, Andrew Lindsay of Overland Park, Kansas. One of these 5 talented athletes will emerge as the Division II champion at the 2025 KCO Invitational and will sign the coveted trophy pin. Today on Prodigy Bowlers Tour. From downtown Kansas City, Missouri to Olathe, Kansas, it's about a 25-minute drive out I-35 to the southwest portion of the Kansas City metro area. A couple of turns and you're at Olathe Lanes East, home of the best youth bowling program in the Midwest, thanks to the tireless work of youth coordinator Susan Fashing-Lowe and the commitment to youth bowling of general manager Eric Maxwell. We're here for the final Kansas City Open tournament of the 2024-25 bowling season, the KCO Invitational. As always, the KCO holds competitions in 5 average-based divisions. On our last episode, you saw the thrilling championship round in Division I, where Eli Nathan shot .298, and Rhett Ryman captured the title for his first KCO championship of the season. And today, we're back to bring you the championship round in Division II. Some very interesting players in our field today, including 3 former winners on Prodigy and 2 first-timers on Prodigy who I've been hoping to have on the show for quite a while. Earlier this season, in March, Kelton Meyer won in Lawrence. Back in October, Liliana Gentlemark won in Gladstone in Division III. Last season in Belton, Missouri, Nicholas Sharp and his dad captured the March Adult Youth Doubles Tournament title. And today we have 2 first-timers. I've been wanting to get Layla Gonzalez on the show ever since I spotted her and her 2 bowling sisters, Kiara, who's aged out, and Bella, who has won on Prodigy. And when I first moved to Kansas City 3.5 years ago, Andrew Lindsay was one of the first kids who bowls here at Olathe Lanes East, where I coach, to come up to me and say he's been watching Prodigy since the show's beginnings with Charles Bostic, Christian Manel, Nolan Kemp, and the whole crew in Roswell, Georgia. So I'm excited about what this field might deliver today. As always at the KCO, players started this morning with a qualifying round of 6 games, 3 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon. And here's how the Division II qualifying round ended up. Of course, you already know who made the top 5 stepladder finals. Braden Miller and Leanna Larson both missed a roll-off for that final spot in the stepladder by about a mark. There's Colton Boob in 8th, Cortland Worrell in 9th, Dylan Hunt in 10th, Avery Bourne, the youngest girl in history to bowl a sanctioned 300 in the state of Missouri, finished 13th. There's Curtis Malem, a champion this year, as was Cale Dawson. Bailey Coleman of the Bowling Coleman family in 23rd. Hadley Keeler, she and her twin sister Anna so wanted to make the show this year. Alina Miller, the granddaughter of the KCO chairman, Lee Miller. And Alec Rutschman, who won the handicap division at the Prodigy TOC back in 2023. But right now, it's time we set sail with our contestants in Match 1. It's Kelton Meyer of Topeka, Kansas, against Prodigy first-timer Layla Gonzalez of Shawnee, Kansas. But make no mistake, Layla is no first-timer when it comes to bowling in a KCO stepladder. She's won 3 KCOs and an HOA. That's the Heart of America tournament, another youth bowling tournament series in the area. She comes from a very active bowling family whose parents are very involved in the kids' bowling. And of course, you saw Kelton Meyer win on Prodigy back in March. His brother Caston won the handicap division at last year's Prodigy TOC. So I look for these two to give us a very competitive match. Kelton is 16, 4 months younger than our 3 seed, Liliana Gentlemark, making him the youngest player in our field today. And he starts with a powerful strike. Right in the pocket. And now we get our first look at Layla Gonzalez, who I would have bet you 3 years ago would be on the show a lot sooner than now. Comes in a little high, lucky to break up the big 4, down to just the 4-pin. She should have no problem with this. Layla, one of 3 bowling sisters. Kiara has already aged out, and of course you've seen Bella win on Prodigy. And their cousin Ethan has also appeared on Prodigy a few times, although he has since aged out. Division 2, of course, bowls with handicap, but both Kelton and Layla, their averages bump up against the high end of the Division 2 spread. So neither one of them getting any pins in handicap. So we're bowling heads up here. Layla with that beautiful straight back, straight through arm swing, which will keep her in the match in almost every match. Just didn't quite kick out the 10. But covers it with ease. So now Kelton Meyer moves over to the right lane. Kelton, already a winner this year. He won the March point tournament from the number 2 position. And gets that 10-pin to go late, but gets it to go, and there's a double on the board. So Kelton draws first blood in this match. We saw this guy before, and he is as cool as the other side of the pillow. And just like Layla, he is one of 3 siblings who bowls. Of course, his brother Caston Meyer won the handicap division at the Prodigy TOC last year. He also has another bowling brother, Gavin, who we haven't seen on Prodigy just yet. Yeah, got that one a little wide. Kind of ran out of energy by the time it got to the pocket. Leaves the 10-pin. He'll go cross lane at it. Look out. Well, there's 39 boards on a bowling lane. You might as well use them all. Now the bowlers to our left on lanes 5 and 6, there's little Kane and Duncan. That's Division 5. The bowlers to our right, I believe that was Connor Boob we were watching. Over on 9 and 10, that's Division 4. We'll check in on their stepladder at the end of the show. Layla with a solid 7, another pocket hit. Not quite paying off yet. If this was a 9-pin no tap, she'd be real happy right about now. But that's 3 spares in a row to start. That'll keep her in the match. With that arm swing that Layla has, she's never going to be out of the hunt. See, that should be swishing that 10 down, but she's just not getting the carry. Uh-oh. Pulled it. And this is the risk you run when you can't seem to carry a strike. You go 9 spare, 9 spare, 9 spare, and sooner or later, the frustration catches up with you, and you make a mental mistake. That's all that was. And Kelton takes advantage, putting another strike up on the board. So he's 3 out of 4 thus far. And owns a 23-pin advantage. Strong two-hander. He's going to end up averaging over 200 by the end of this tournament, I would guess. He might start the 2025-26 season in Division I. Heck, he might be in Division I at the Prodigy TOC. We'll have to check his final KCO average. But I'll bet he's above 200 by now. He looks pretty solid. Fell off balance a little bit on that shot. He'll keep his shoulders back, keep his base under him. That won't happen. Wow, another pocket hit not rewarded. Take another look at Layla's game, see if we can pick up on what might be happening here. Her timing looks a little early to me. When her slide foot gets flat on the floor, her bowling arm should be parallel to the floor. Here you see it's already dropped below that point, and what that means is her timing is early. The correction is to either delay the arm swing by holding it about a half a step before you set it in motion, or to speed up the feet. And you can do that a couple of ways. You can walk faster, or you can move up, take shorter steps. But by speeding up the feet or slowing down the arm swing, she can delay her timing slightly, and she'll have considerably more leverage. And she'll start kicking out some of those corner pins. Wow, that can be frustrating. Believe me, we've all been there, Layla. And now another 10 pin to shoot. And she's a little extra careful with that one, not letting it run away into the channel. So 6 frames, 6 9 counts, 5 spares. She'd like to run off a little string of strikes to finish off this game and see what happens. And Kelton says, well, I might just match you strike for strike the rest of the way. He's certainly capable, and now he owns a 44-pin lead. Better balance that time. And that ball just plowed through the pins. Five strikes in 6 frames for Kelton. I think you'd have to say he's on a roll. Yeah, he pulled that one a little bit. Never read the friction on the outside of the lane, so it hit a little flat, deflected through the pins, and leaves the weak 10. But this should be a pretty easy conversion. Uh-oh. Well, now. That'll tighten things up a little bit. Now, if Layla can just get that little string of strikes going that we were talking about. She's been so close all game. It looked like she tried to give that one a little extra help at the bottom of the swing, and it just got away from her a little too wide. Never made it back, and now she's got the 3-6-7. Put the ball over on the right side of the 3-pin. Try to throw it over into the 7. She made a good run at it, but a little too much of the 3-pin and an open frame. Well, she gives the gift right back to Kelton. And we've got a 45-pin spread here with 3 frames to go. And Layla's running out of frames here to close that gap. There you go. That's more like what she's looking for. Watch this. She squared up her shoulders nicely on that shot. I think they might have been left a little bit open in the previous frame when that ball sailed wide. There's a light shaker for Kelton. Tell you what, this guy does not let up. When he was on Prodigy earlier this year, he did much the same thing. He just kept peppering the pocket. And he had a pretty good carry percentage that day. So when you're hitting the pocket and you're carrying, well, that's the formula. There you go, another one. Popping out the 10-pin. And he's really put Layla in the corner now. If she strikes out, she shoots 201. That would at least force Kelton to show up in the 10th. Yeah. That's the ball that pushes Kelton across the finish line. He has won the match. Well, I said it earlier, I have been looking forward to getting Layla Gonzalez on the show for a while. I spotted her early on when I moved up here to Kansas City and thought, this girl's got some talent. Let's get her on the show so she can show it off, but she just didn't have her carry today, as evidenced by what happened in the 10th frame. A good pocket hit, and, well, she's taking it with pretty good attitude. Good-natured kid, but, boy, I tell you what, if it was me up there, I'd be grinding my teeth. So it's a 158. She didn't bowl like it was a 158. She bowled a better game than that. Just did not get rewarded on a lot of good shots. Meanwhile, on the other side, Kelton just throwing darts. Here's another one. He doesn't overwhelm the pins with power, but he puts it so solid in the pocket most of the time. Boy, there's another pocket 710, because you just can't have enough of those. But it's academic now. So both players finish with a pocket 710 in the 10th, but it doesn't matter. Kelton Meyer is your winner with a 232-158 victory, and now he's moving on to match 2 to face Kansas City's Liliana Gentlemark. Everyone who has ever bowled competitively can relate. We've all been there. It was just one of those matches for Leylah Gonzalez that I imagine she's probably just glad it's over. She didn't bowl badly. Certainly the final score isn't an indication of how well she threw the ball, but she just couldn't carry, and eventually it caught up with her. Well, that and the fact that Kelton Meyer bowled a sweet little 232 that gave Leylah no margin for error. But Leylah will be back next season, and Kelton, well, he's moving on to match 2 to face our number 3 qualifier, Liliana Gentlemark. This'll be Liliana's last tournament for a while, as she's going in for surgery to her bowling wrist on Tuesday. But right now, she's got a tiger by the tail, as Kelton Meyer is coming off a strong game. So you'd have to assume that Liliana is going to need a strong performance of her own to rise up to the challenge ahead. Liliana, the higher qualifier, had the option. She is elected to let Kelton lead off. And boy, that one just barely gets the 4. Hits high in the pocket, that 2-pin flying around the 4, and just ticked it on the way by. And now Liliana.
We need her sheet. She didn't give her sheet.
Oh my goodness. We just saw a couple of pocket 710s in the 10th frame of the last match, and Liliana starts with one. Holy moly. It's an infestation. And that's 8 out. And as you see, Liliana getting 17 pins of handicap. We've added them into her score. 17 plus 8, that's 25 in the first frame. Well, Liliana going in for surgery on Tuesday to her bowling hand. I'm not sure exactly what's wrong with it, but it's enough that it requires surgery. Oh my. And I wonder if whatever it is that ails her might have caused those 2 shots not being quite as strong as they might otherwise have been. The 210, here's how you make it. Put the ball on the left side of the 2. Try to slide it over into the 10. And she gets too much of the 2-pin. So open to start. And that's no fun. So now Kelton Meyer, who didn't start bowling until he was 14. He's 16 now. So only been at it a couple of years, as opposed to Liliana, who started bowling when she was 5. Both of these 2 players, 16 years old. And there is a spare for Kelton Meyer. Well, Kelton has won a couple of KCOs. He's also won the Kaw Valley Youth Showcase Championship. Not surprising that he has had some success, although heaven knows not everyone enjoys that level of success just 2 years in. Covers the 10-pin, no problem. Well, Liliana's high game, a 268. Her high series, 660. I think those numbers are only going to go up. Tell you what, there is a lot to like about her game. Take another look at it here. Nice straight arm swing. See, it's right behind her head, right in line with the swing plane. At the bottom of the swing, it's right under her head. Look how close it is to her ankle. I mean, that's ideal position. She's in perfect balance. Her head super steady through release. What's not to like about this game? Oh my goodness. Another pocket 710. Well, this really is an infestation. That's 4 pocket 710s in the last 4 or 5 frames. And both times she leaves it, she goes 8 out. Somehow, despite 3 opens in 4 frames, Liliana's still within 19 pins of Kelton. That handicap probably has something to do with it. But Kelton says, you know what? I'm just going to run away and hide here. If he can throw a few strikes, he'll do just that. Here it is again, out to about 7 at the break point. That seems to be the sweet spot. Oh my. Well, he gave that one a little extra speed, and now he's got the virtually impossible 2-8-10. We have never seen this made on Prodigy. And you're not going to make it that way. I was just going to say, usually at this stage of a match, the smart thing to do is just take the count. But Kelton whiffs all 3 pins, goes 7 out, and the lead is now just 3. And Liliana gets a light shaker to go. She doesn't have the big rev rate. Doesn't generate a lot of ball speed. But look what happens when you get it in play. She rips the rack, rips that 5-pin over into the left side of the rack and mixes them up. If she can get another one here, she'll take the lead. Oh, right in the pocket. And the 6-pin just falls around the 10. Not to be. She'll go cross lane at it. And Don't hurt him. But she is only too happy to take that spare. It's her first mark on the left lane. Now Kelton trying to regroup after he had that disastrous open in the 5th. Oh, and he goes high. And look at this. The 4-9 stands, but the 4 waits till the last instant before the pin setter comes down to pick it up. Falls out late, and he's left with just the 9. Must be living right. Just 3 pins separate these two players, both of them working on a spare. And Kelton, that ball fading away as it hit the pocket, but he gets the wall shot. Watch it again. The head pin is going to go to the left wall, come back, and get the 4, 5, and 7. Dick Weber made a career out of making strikes this way. It's not how, it's how many. And there's another solid pocket hit from Liliana. This time, they all go. That was probably her best shot of the match. 4-step approach. Pretty simple mechanics. Not a lot to go wrong. As I mentioned, there's a lot to like about her game. But now, can she just figure out this left lane? Well, she tries to get him to go with a light shaker, but the 10 remains. She's going to have to finish on that left lane. So she's going to have one more chance this game to figure it out. But first things first, got to make this spare. Oh, no. Can't be doing that. That's 4 opens in 8 frames. The fact that she's still in the match, trailing by just 15, nothing short of a miracle. Kelton right through the nose. That could have been a split. Leaves just the 6. And he takes it out. But now who is going to perform in the 9th and 10th frames? Oh my. Sent that one out to the weeds. And it never came back. Kelton Meyer with the washout. The 1, 2, 8, 10. Got to put the ball on the left side of the head pin. Throw it into the 10. The 2 should get the 8. Man, it's a pretty good shot, but just a little too much of the 1 pin. So, this match is all even. And Liliana gets another light shaker. That's 4 strikes in a row on the right lane. But she is yet to find the way to strike on the left lane. And that's the challenge that awaits her next. Watch this one. Watch the head pin go to the left wall and come back and do all the damage. It took out the 4, 7, and 8. I think the 4 may have gotten the 5, but this is the shot of the match for her now. And she gets almost the identical shot, but the 7 won't go. But now here's the situation. If she makes this and strikes on her fill ball, she will force Kelton to throw a strike in the 10th frame to tie. There's the spare she needs. Now, can she get a strike on this left lane? A strike for 168 would force Kelton to double to beat her in regulation. Otherwise, strike spare or spare strike to tie. And she's wide with it and gets just 6. I think she'd like to set fire to lane 7. Not a fan. All right, Kelton needs to fill 17 pins. Spare 7 will get it done. Or strike 7. A strike will make his job a lot easier because now he's got 2 throws to get 7 pins. Throws it out to about 8 this time, and down they go. All right, he needs 7 pins on 2 balls to win the match. Oh my God. Another pocket 7-10. That's 5 of them in 2 games. We may need an exorcism before this is over. And every 7-10 left in this match ended 8 out. But it's a 2-pin victory for Kelton Meyer. He doesn't care how it got done. It got done. And now he's moving on to face Nicholas Sharp in match 3. Somehow, a match in which Liliana Gentlemark had 4 open frames came down to the 10th frame and was decided by just 2 pins. If she could have ever hit the left lane, that might have been a very different outcome. But she never did find a way to strike on lane 7, and it cost her the match. But we wish her well with her surgery on Tuesday and hope to see her back out on the lanes all healed up and as good as new when the 2025-26 season kicks off in September. But right now, it's Kelton Meyer who is on full go as he's moving on to match 3, where his challenge grows a bit. You know, every time I look up, I'm reading another Facebook post from Nicholas Sharp about how he's just had another stellar practice session. This guy always seems to be finding time to squeeze in another practice session. He's got the Bowling Jones, and nothing can satisfy that Bowling Jones quite like more bowling. So Kelton, I'm warning you, you will not wear this guy out. He's like the tide. He'll just keep coming in. But Kelton Meyer's a cool customer, and I don't think there's much that Nick can do that would throw him off his game. This could be another close match. But Kelton will have to overcome an 11-pin handicap that he's spotting Nick. But Kelton says, I don't care, as he shreds the rack with his opening toss. And that ought to get Nick's attention. Uh-oh. A wild one to start. That one never gets back, and he is left with a form of the washout. The 1, 2, 4, 10. Here's how you make it. Get that ball on the left side of the 1 pin and throw it over into the 10. And that's how it's done. Great shot. I tell you what, you start with an open, and it will put you in a foul mood the rest of the way, but you make a difficult spare in that first frame, and it can really be a lift. Put you in a positive frame of mind, and now he'll feel like he can do no wrong. And if you throw it like that, then everything will come up roses for you. All right, Kelton Meyer working on a strike. He can pull to within 1 pin if he can put up a double here. And that's exactly what he does. This young fellow says he wants to be an engineer when he grows up. His favorite pro bowler, Anthony Simonson. One of the world's best two-handers. Oh my, well, it's like feast or famine today. Wide right, and now he gets his crack at the washout, the 1, 2, 10. You know where to put the ball. Not there. So an open frame, and Nick Sharp sees his lead expand to 16 pins, and he has a strike up. Now you may recall seeing Nick Sharp on the show before. He and his dad won the adult youth doubles tournament last season. I believe it was in Belton. His dad had this gigantic handicap, and in one of the matches he shot 320. And boy, did we hear about it. But it was a legit handicap. His dad hadn't been bowling all that much, but he had the day of his life that day. And he picked a good time to have it. All right, Nick, now with a double working, can extend the lead to 36 with another one here in the fourth. And look out for this guy if he gets loosened up and lined up. He practices all the time, and he generates so much power. He can really get those pins to dance. We see his footwork, swings it out to about 8, hits in that half pocket, and swishes them out. There's a solid strike by Kelton as he tomahawks out the 10-pin. Both players, 4 frames, 3 strikes. Watch the 6-pin. That's the second one from the right. He will send it into the gutter, and it'll come back and chop out the 10. Now he needs another one to cut the lead to 26. But instead, it goes high, and he's lucky he didn't leave the 4-9 or the 4-9-10. But he will only have to face the 4-pin. Waiting for Kendall Cochran over on the left lane. Emma Lorenzis we see bowling over to our right. That's Division 4 on our right, Division 5 on our left. We will recap how their stepladders played out when we get to the end of the show after we visit with our winner. Nick can run away and hide if he gets 2 more strikes in this turn. Oh man, look at that power. He hits the half pocket, if it's even that high, and just sends everything over to the left side of the rack and just demolishes the 7-pin. Take a look at his game. At the bottom of the swing, the ball is just below or even a little left of his head. That's ideal. And at the bottom of the swing, right under his head, the one thing I don't like is you see that gap between the ball and his left leg. If he could tighten up that, and to do that, he would need to keep his right elbow in closer to his body, he could be devastatingly powerful. And to think that he's got more power that he could call on, that's kind of a scary thought. This guy can really rev it up. Look at that. And he's not even using all the power that's available to him. That is enough to just leave you shaking your head. I don't think he knows how good he could be. Kelton cuts that one short. Goes through the nose, leaves the 6-pin. Trailing by 57, he needs strikes, not spares. But you got to at least make them when you leave them. Still a possible 234. You never know what your opponent is going to do. I've seen some crazy things in this sport. There you go. Get all you can and make Nicholas take it. This is as good a shot as we've seen Kelton throw. 10 in the pit. All right, Nick going for a 6-bagger. Oh, he fouled. He struck, but he hit the foul line with his foot. You cannot step on or cross the foul line. You see? There's the red light. The toe of his left foot on the foul line. That counts the same as a gutter ball. So he gets 0 on that shot. So he loses 10 pins in count. And now he shoots at a full rack. This for a spare. And he makes it. He puts up the X, but that's going to be a slash for a spare. Now, one time on Prodigy, Big Logan Mathis fouled, and it cost him a match. I remember one time when I was in Georgia, Nolan Kemp, Bowling Nolan, started a game in league. He got the front 10, and then he threw the 11th strike, but he fouled and didn't even realize it at first. And when he discovered it, well, he disappeared at the far end of the bowling center, and soon there was one less usable trash receptacle. I think he destroyed it. He took out his frustration on it. He's calmed down in the years since. Well, we've got a little mechanical issue going on here with lane 7. They're working on it. So while they work on it, I will remind you that after today's bowlcast, we have just one more Prodigy Bowlers Tour episode this season. We will be recording it on June 22nd, 2025, right here at Olathe Lanes East, the 2025 Prodigy Bowlers Tour Tournament of Champions, the Prodigy TOC. All the KCO winners and a few other select point getters are eligible. And look at this, Nick Sharp, 5-bagger, strike but fouls, spare, that's another strike, and another strike. So he's thrown what, 8 in a row? Only gets credit for 6 of them. There's a strike for Kelton Meyer. He's not going to give up. I like that. He says his best moment in bowling came when he won state with his high school team, Hayden High School. That was this season. He also participates in track and took 9th at state in the javelin. Oh my! Well, that's one way to get a strike. But I tell you what, it keeps him in the match. I have no idea what got the 6, 9, and 10 other than good fortune. But by striking, he's mathematically still in this match. And Nick Sharp, just a striking machine, man. Wow. Well, I've seen his posts on Facebook. He posts every time he bowls a big game or has a big series or has something good to say about a practice session he's just gone through. So I know he's actively keeping his game sharp. No pun intended. Whoa. Another ripper, and, well, Kelton Meyer was still in this match until that shot. Nicholas Sharp just put an end to any hopes Kelton might have had of making a comeback. Watch the 5-pin, the pin behind the head pin. It is going to just saw over into the 7, and those pins had no chance. Nicholas Sharp, a possible 271, 260 scratch. Well, that one was wide right, to say the least. But he's going to end up in the 250s, and that'll win a lot of matches. Look out for Nick Sharp in the championship match. He is on fire. Covers the 128. That is a 258. And Kelton can take some comfort in knowing that he's going to finish third. Won a couple of stepladder matches. Had a nice run today. Doesn't quite get the messenger to get the 10-pin, but a spare and a strike will give him 213. And he has no reason to hang his head. He bowled well, even in defeat. Had that one mishap in the second frame with the open. But even without that, I don't think it would have mattered. Nicholas Sharp was not going to be denied this game. And now he has stepped up and moved into the championship match, where he'll face his teammate, Andrew Lindsay. Kelton Meyer had a really nice run today. He qualified 5th and won 2 matches in the stepladder to finish 3rd, which increased his scholarship award by a considerable amount. You know, the Kansas City Open will distribute a grand total of over $25,000 in Smart Scholarship Awards at this tournament alone, and another $25,000 or so throughout the season at the monthly tournaments. Multiply that times this being the end of their 30th season, and while the payouts may not have always been this big, the fact remains that the KCO has made a huge impact in the lives of youth bowlers here in the Kansas City area for 3 decades, and they will begin their 31st season in September. But right now, we've got one more match to get to, and that's the championship match here in Division 2 between Nicholas Sharp and the tournament leader, Andrew Lindsay. Andrew's been watching Prodigy Bowlers Tour since the show originated in 2016 in Georgia. And today, he's finally made it to the show for the first time. His opponent, Nick Sharp, well, all he did the last match was start spare, then throw 5 in a row, then throw another strike, but foul, then throw another strike for a spare, and then strike in the 8th, 9th, and 10th. So that's 10 straight balls that Nick knocked down all 10 pins. So to say he's on a roll would be a bit of an understatement. But Andrew Lindsay has been looking forward to this moment for 9 years, and his chance to impress Prodigy Land has finally arrived. Although I gotta say, he'll have to go some to impress us beyond what Nicholas Sharp has already done to impress us today. And Nick picks up where he left off with a powerful strike in the first frame. So now Andrew Lindsay, one of the 2 left-handers in our field today, along with Leila Gonzalez. Andrew has lost a ton of weight in the last year. And it has made him a much better player. I don't know if that's why he set out on that weight loss journey, but he looks great. And I know he feels a lot better. These 2 players each getting some handicap. Nick getting 11 pins, Andrew 9, so only 2 pins difference in their handicap. Andrew spotting Nick 2 pins in handicap differential. So they both start with a strike, but Andrew trails by 2. But he won't trail for long throwing it like that. Another solid strike. 5-step approach. Really solid. That ball right under his head at release. I'd love to see him get his fingers a little lower below the equator of the ball. He'd improve his rev rate considerably doing that. But this guy is a really good, solid stroker. And Nicholas just overpowering the lanes right now. I think he threw that one a lot wider than he meant to, but he gets so much on it. There's just no distance it can't recover from, or so it seems. That was out to about 4 at its widest point, I think. And he leads by 2. Now he leads by 12. There's our first messenger of the day that delivers the mail. I think this will be the head pin that comes back across the lane. Watch it go to the left wall, and here it comes. Wow. Andrew looks sharp. I know he was happy to secure the #1 position, knowing he would only have to win 1 match to take the title. He's won 5 KCOs. He won a couple in Division 5 when he first started, a couple of Division 4s, and then he won 1 Division 3. This would be his first in Division 2. If he can pull it off, and he might, with a little luck like that. getting the light shaker. I imagine next year, Andrew might find himself in Division I. He might be one of those players that we see contending for the Division I titles after the Caden Whites and Rhett Ryman's and Andrew Coleman's age out this summer. And I'll tell you what, Nick Sharp might be one of them as well. Watch it again. We've seen enough of these today. We pretty much know how this one ends. Gets it out to about 5 and just sweeps them off the deck. Both players perfect through the first 4 frames. Oh, he fell off balance when he let that one go. That is one of the things that Nick can fix by shrinking that gap between the ball and his left leg. If he'll keep his right elbow in close to his torso, coming through, he'll get that ball closer to his body and he'll be less likely to fall off balance. Andrew Lindsay with a light shaker. This guy wants to be either a PBA professional when he grows up or possibly a video editor, video producer. He's got a YouTube channel called One-Handed Bowling that he puts up highlights of PBA tournaments and does some commentary. His high game, a 299, high series, 791. There's a solid strike there. Look at all these X's. And this is Division II. These aren't even the 200-plus average scratch bowlers at the KCO. This is crazy. Another one right in the hole. When asked how he got started bowling, Nick says his grandfather bought him his first bowling ball when he turned 15. He's only been bowling a couple of years. He likes to bodybuild, race, and do drag racing. There's another one. Take a look at 3 of Nick Sharp's strikes in this match. They all seem to end up the same. A little difference at the foul line depending on how his balance was. And he'll jump around on some of them. Let's stack them on top of each other with our exclusive 3 deep look, and you'll really get an idea of how consistent he is. A little bit of variance right at the end. But again, I think that's one of those things. Keep that elbow tucked in close. You can fix that and get even more consistent. Well, I tell you what, Andrew Lindsay looks pretty locked in as well. Both players with the front 7. And, well, I think we can do this on Andrew as well. Take a look at his 3rd, 5th, and 7th frames. I think we might see a little more consistency from shot to shot. And once again, we'll stack them on top of each other with our 3 deep look. And then you'll really be able to tell how similar each shot was. Only a slight variation at the very end. He sure liked one of them. Tell you what, I'd be hard-pressed to pick a favorite if I started with the front 7. He's got the front 8. Well, well, well. I don't believe we have ever seen this on Prodigy. Both players starting with such a long string of strikes. He loved that one. All right, Nicholas. He's not backing down. Both players with the front 8. Never a doubt about that one. If it weren't for the handicap, these two would be tied. That's the crazy thing. They could both shoot 300 and Nick would win. Uh-oh. Well, he pulled that one. Did not get the break on the crossover. And so Nicholas Sharp, the first one to show a crack in the foundation, but an easy spare, the 9-pin. So he can finish with 279 scratch. That would be 290 with his handicap. Andrew cannot afford to let up. If he fails to strike here or on the first ball in the 10th, he could lose. He gets the 9th. And Andrew will enter the 10th frame with a chance at a 300 game. But if he doesn't strike on the first ball in the 10th, Nick can get up, throw 3 strikes in the 10th, and win. Looked like he pulled up and pulled the ball a little right of target. But it's set in the oil. And it doesn't matter now. Oh, man. I always heard him say, when you see a player go to his knees, you know he threw it well. He knows it's just a matter of carry. Watch this. Andrew knows it's a good shot. The only thing he could possibly have left would have been a stone 9. No problem there. So there's the front 10, and he just needs a little bit of count to lock up the match. That's more than a little bit of count. And he goes straight over to Nicholas Sharp to congratulate him or offer his condolences. I don't know which one it was, but Andrew has just won the tournament with this ball, the shutout ball. And now the only thing left to find out is, can he throw just the 5th 300 ever on Prodigy Bowlers Tour? It all comes down to this ball. Oh, not the big 4. Well, if it's any consolation, Annalise O'Brien left the big 4 on the 12th ball, and that was in a 9-pin no-tap event on Prodigy. She shot 2 296s in that event. But Andrew will call it a 305, which is interesting because when Nicholas and his dad won the adult youth doubles tournament on Prodigy a little over a year ago, his dad shot a 320 with his handicap. But he didn't start with the front 11. Well, Nick was asking if maybe he should throw his backup ball on the final shot. But they still have a crack at the all-time scoring record for 2 players. Don't be throwing this one away. Well, he pulled it. But I believe that gives him the record. Even if he misses both of these, yeah, which he, in fact, does miss both of them, they will end up with 563 between the two of them, scratch. And that edges by 2 pins the record set. Oh, here it is. Andrew and Nicholas, 296 and 267 scratch for 563. On our last episode of Prodigy, Eli Nathan shot 298. Tanner Haig with 263 for 561. That was the record, beating Logan Mathis and Christian Manel 300 to 254 for 554. That was set 6 years ago in Georgia. And Eli Nathan and Tanner Haig, they owned the record for an hour. But it's Andrew Lindsay who takes first prize here at the final KCO of the season. All that's left is to get his signature on the coveted trophy pin. What a day it was at the final Kansas City Open tournament of the 2024-25 season, as both Divisions 1 and 2 deliver a match in which a player starts with the front 11. About an hour ago, Eli Nathan shot 298 to Tanner Haig's 263 for an aggregate total of 561, eclipsing the all-time Prodigy scoring record for 2 players in a single match. The previous record of 554 set in 2019 by Logan Mathis when he shot 300 against Christian Manel, who finished with 254 in defeat. And then, moments later, a few pairs down, Andrew Lindsay fires a 296 scratch to Nicholas Sharp's 267 scratch for 653 total, wiping out by 2 pins Eli's and Tanner's record, which stood for about an hour. But here in Division 2, we had solid performances by all 5 contestants. Layla Gonzalez, whose score doesn't show it, but she threw the ball really well. Liliana Gentlemark, whose injured wrist on her bowling hand may have been the difference and why she never could find a way to strike on the left lane. And Kelton Meyer, who won 2 matches and then bowled great in the 3rd game despite losing to Nick Sharp. And how about Nick Sharp knocking down all 10 pins on 10 consecutive balls in match 3? only to be credited with a 5-bagger, a foul, a spare, and a turkey. And of course, that exquisite championship match in which both players started with the front 8 before Nick was first to crack, throwing a Brooklyn in the 9th and not getting the break. With handicap added in, it was a 305 to 278 victory for Andrew Lindsay. But I know he'll remember that 12th ball where he left the big 4 in a 296 scratch game. All in all, a supremely entertaining stepladder to go along with the one we saw on our last episode, episode 192, to send the KCO off for the season on a very high note. But there is one bit of unfinished business, and that's to get one final name scrawled upon the coveted trophy pin. So I've been in Kansas City now for about 3.5 years. Hard to believe it's been that long.
Yeah.
And when I started coaching here at Olathe Lanes East, one of the first kids I met here was this guy, Andrew Lindsay. And he told me he'd been watching Prodigy since way back in the very beginning. You were watching Charlie and Hunter and Logan, both Logans. And now you're one of them. And on top of all of that, you're a winner on Prodigy Bowlers Tour. How does it feel?
Feels great, man. It's been a long time coming.
You finally made the show, which was, that alone was a bit of a feat. And then all you do is go out and shoot 296. What was going through your mind on the 12th ball?
No TOC for Nicholas Sharp.
The two of you are actually teammates and your buddies.
Yeah.
So I saw after you threw the 11th strike, you knew that you had the match.
I wasn't too worried about the shot. I tried my best. I left a big 4, 6 through the middle. That wasn't the greatest, but I tried.
Well, you guys also set a little record today. Earlier in the afternoon, on the episode that would have aired by now on Prodigy Bowlers Tour, the Division I stepladder, we had a 298 to 260, what was it? 263 match, and that totals to 561, and you guys eclipsed it with your 296 to 267 for a 563. That is the highest scoring match ever on Prodigy Bowlers Tour for two people, so that's something.
Yeah.
And I guess the sweetest part of it for you is you were the one that had the higher of the two scores.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what this means. Not only do you get a big, fat, smart scholarship award from the KCO, and I don't know exactly what the number is. We'll have it up on screen for our viewers, but it's the highest prize you'll get all year at the KCO. I can also tell you that you're also now eligible for the Prodigy Bowlers Tour Tournament of Champions. Oh, wait a minute. You already were eligible for the Prodigy Tournament of Champions because you won in the periphery at one of these tournaments. So now you're a 2-time winner this year. And that's not nothing.
Yeah.
But it will be the first time that you get to finally put your name on the coveted trophy pin. This makes it official. He's been waiting for this moment since, I don't know, 5 minutes ago, maybe longer.
The date.
Today is June 1st, 6/1/2025. And what a day it's been at the KCO today, where Andrew Lindsay takes first place in Division II. Congratulations. As I mentioned earlier on the show, the players in the periphery to our left on lanes 5 and 6 were the Division V group. And here's how their stepladder played out. In the opening match, the 4-seed Briley Wolschlager Monty defeated the 5-seed Kanan Duncan 147-112. Then in match 2, the 3-seed Maddox Page put a stop to Briley's march to the top 164-107. In the third match, Maddox Page continued his winning ways, defeating little Kendall Cochran 134-122. And in the championship match, Maddox Page closed it out with a win over tournament leader Carter Reese 201-153. So congratulations to Maddox Page on his Division 5 title today. And as I mentioned earlier, the bowlers in the periphery to our right on lanes 9 and 10 were the Division 4 group. Here's how their stepladder unfolded. The opening match between the 5-seed Kelly Petrick and the 4-seed Connor Boob ended in a tie in regulation, forcing a 9th and 10th frame roll-off, in which Kelly Petrick won her first ever KCO stepladder match 49-25. But her euphoria was short-lived, as in match 2, the 3-seed Emma Lorenzis defeated Kelly Petrick 134-127. Then in match 3, the 2-seed Jonathan Cooper, who you saw win on Prodigy in April, defeated Emma Lorenzis 179-155. But in the championship match, the tournament leader Emma Wadersky proved to be one Emma too many for Jonathan Cooper, as she prevailed 195-175. So congratulations to Emma Wadersky on her hard-fought victory. On our last episode of Prodigy Bowlers Tour, you saw Eli Nathan fire a 298 to defeat Tanner Haig, and later watch as Rhett Ryman claimed top honors by defeating Caden White in the final match in Division 1. And we told you about how Kaylin Parkhurst took the title in Division 3. And of course, on today's show, you watched Andrew Lindsay fire a 296 scratch in his title match against Nicholas Sharp to claim the Division 2 title. So congratulations to all 5 of our winners at today's KCO Invitational. This is the final KCO event of the season, but the KCO will be back for its 31st season this September. For information on the KCO, including the 2025-26 season schedule, rules, and everything you need to know to enter, visit their website at www.kansascityopen.com. There is just one more episode of Prodigy Bowlers Tour remaining this season, and that's the Prodigy TOC. Look for that blockbuster doubleheader episode to drop sometime in early to mid-July. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to receive notifications whenever we post new content on the channel. And we will post new content even during the off-season. Leave a comment down below. All these things, liking a video, subscribing, and even sharing the video with your friends, all help us grow the channel. They don't cost you anything, and they help the YouTube algorithm feed our videos to more potential viewers. So please, like, comment, and subscribe. If you'd like to be a financial supporter of the work that goes into producing Prodigy Bowlers Tour, become a Prodigy patron. For as little as $5 a month, you'll get early access to all our full-length episodes. And for just $10 a month, you not only get early access, but you also get your name listed in the show's closing credits as an executive producer. You'll also have my undying gratitude. Go to www.patreon.com/Prodigy Bowlers Tour and follow the prompts to become a patron. It's easy, and you'll be supporting the longest-running youth bowling program on YouTube. You know, we also have a Prodigy Facebook group where you can keep up with what's happening behind the scenes with news about what's coming up on the show and more. From any page on Facebook, type into the search bar the words Prodigy Bowlers Tour and hit the return or enter key. That'll take you to the page where you can submit a request to join the group. But listen, you'll be presented with 3 screening questions, and if you don't answer them, your request will be declined. So answer them, and we'll approve you so you can become a member of this growing community. All right, that's it from the KCO Invitational. Be on the lookout for episode 194 from the Prodigy Bowlers Tour Tournament of Champions, our final show of the season. In the meantime, this is Coach Randy reminding you to stay behind the foul line, keep kicking out the corner pins, not the foul lights or ball returns, and I'll talk to you again next time on Prodigy Bowlers Tour. Now, go get your bowl on.